comic books to TV shows and all things loved by nerds. We'll share just how we rate them, from our favorites to the worst. Poking fun at toxic fandom, so we'll kick this into gear and see what's on the list today. Let's discuss some toxic tiers.
Tell me how you're feeling. And we'd go, fantastic, terrific, great, oh yeah, strong juice, baby sucker, I feel wonderful, right on, right on, right on, juice, 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 juice. I feel great, I feel great. Oh, wow, wow, let's kick some ass, kick some ass. Who's number one? We are. Who's number two? Who gives a fuck? Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Toxic Tears, episode 13. We are back on Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody had a happy Thanksgiving and you're all full of turkey. Hey, there's a strange face down there at the bottom square. Who could that be? That is none other than James the Jedi. Say hi.
What's up, everybody?
So James is joining us for the first time in our official capacity. So he is one of our favorite people in the whole world. So James, thanks for joining us. Do you want to plug anything, James, while we're before we get going?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you want to plug anything before we get going?
Oh, just only that I'm happy to be here.
So everybody, welcome to our 13th episode of Toxic Tears.
Wow.
Cannot believe it's 13 already. Again, everyone, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. You got lots of turkey in your bellies. You can't eat my belly. And spend time with family and friends. Hopefully not too many arguments, etc., etc. So we are a ranking channel, not a review channel, a ranking channel. And today we will be ranking what, James?
Star Wars toys.
That's right. Kenner Star Wars vehicles from 1978 to 1985, the vintage OG Kenner Star Wars vehicles. Now,
I was born then.
That's right. So James would be a aftermarket collector on these. I actually had these toys. I think I had all of these toys. So we're covering the vehicles, not the figures, not the play sets. And there are a couple of items that you may question as to why we're covering them. But if an action figure can ride on it, then it's a vehicle.
Yes.
Now there's a couple of more accessory-like items, but we're counting them as vehicles because you really can't categorize them as anything else. So, but we've got a lot of fun for you guys tonight. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. We thought it's a great way to kick off the holiday season. We got done with the horror stuff. We did Happy Meal toys last week. And now we're into our Kenner Star Wars vehicles. So really excited to have James here. Got to put up my disclaimer. All film footage and media belong to the respective owners. Is here under various commentary, critique, and transfer, clips, photos, and trailers. You can read it.
Blah, blah, blah.
So we don't get copyright struck on YouTube. So anyway, we want you guys to interact, whether we have 2 viewers, 100 viewers, 2,000 viewers. That'd be awesome.
Oh, 2,000 would be great.
So we want you to comment. Tell us about your favorite Star Wars memories, about what you loved about these toys, if you disagree with our rankings. But the one thing we ask is that you don't be a dick.
Yeah. Now, I don't care if you don't do which the first one that.
Just be a person. And I wonder if you don't need a reason why. Don't be a dick.
Right. Don't be a dick. If you don't know what a dick is, take biology. No, if you don't know how not to be a dick on social media, you should not be on social media. If you act like a dick, we will ban you. This is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship. So let's talk about what our toxic tier letters mean. We've got S, A, C, F, Z. Ron, what does that mean? Well, we're going to tell you.
Oh.
So if something's an S, it is...
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's giving me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
So an S means that it is the perfect
in this case, toy. Like everything about it, playability, look, accuracy to the actual film, just the nostalgia value, how iconic it is. That is an S. That's legend, just like James. Yeah. A is
Good, great, awesome, outstanding, amazing.
an A toy is an awesome toy. It may not have reached GOAT status, but it's still an awesome toy nonetheless. Then we have our C's.
I mean, it's all right. Like, overrated as fuck, in my opinion. I mean,
So C means it's a playable toy. Yeah, pretty much. It was a toy you could play with. You enjoyed playing with it, but it doesn't have that wow factor, as Brandy said last week.
There's not that much value.
Right. Now we've got F.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
F means maybe you played with it once and you got bored. So
That's what call that a fail.
that's a fail. Right. And last but not least, our infamous Z category.
What the fuck?
What were they thinking? Why did they make the toy? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit in with the movie. There's no playability. It just a terrible
absolute
idea. Right.
An absolute zero.
And for those that you guys don't know, I used to work for KB Toys for quite some time, and I will tell you that one of the main factors, they actually call it play factor when a toy is being evaluated, is play factor. Will the toy have a play factor? This is before the collectible market became huge and toys became $20, $25, $30, $40 a piece. So play factor is important. That's going to play an important part in our rankings as well. Nostalgia is important. How close it is to the movie is important, but playability really is. And we're coming at this as if James and I are going back in the Wayback Machine. Of course, James couldn't because he'd be a fetus. But if James was around,
I wouldn't even exist.
if James was around all the time as a kid, would he have played with these figures? And these are going to be from my own personal experiences owning these toys. And I will tell you, I owned almost every piece of Star Wars toy product that they had on the market, including the mailaways. So, by the way, if you want to check out some great toy channels, like I said, we're a ranking channel, but if you're looking for some great toy channels where you can get more details on the toys, histories of the toys, a real in-depth look. Some of these folks are collectors. Some of them are, they go to toy shows. I want to put a couple up there of the shows that I watch and I enjoy. The first of the Padawan Collector Official, he's awesome. Actually, he got me interested in doing kind of a ranking on this just by watching his own assessments of these toys. Analog Toys, phenomenal. This guy's great. I love his evaluations. He really does a deep dive into the toys he's examining. Very well spoken, very articulate, makes it enjoyable, etc. Ed's Retro Geek Out is phenomenal. I love that guy. Great personality. He does a lot of great episodes like the Holy Grail toys, the toys that were not produced, all kinds of cool stuff. Toy Federation, I'm actually going to check them out, James. I'm actually going to go down there. They're in South Carolina.
Okay.
Toy Federation is a store. They run their own con. But he evaluates when he buys product and stuff. He actually shows it on video to kind of talk about the product. He does some background of the toys, talks about their values. And finally, World Class Bullshitters, WCBS, hilarious channel. I love their visits to the Ollie stores and how they're talking about how current toys, because of the way the studios have gone, are really suffering from the fact that studios have moved so far away from canon and the fandom. We're not going to talk about that here, but we know it's there. Everyone knows it's there. We call it toxic tears for a reason because most fandoms have become quite toxic. So I'll try to catch your comments. I'm kind of running solo, James. If you see a comment pop up that I missed, let me know. But let's get right into it. Now, how we're classifying this is we're going to start with Star Wars. When we get done with all those toys, we'll talk about the Empire toys, and then we'll talk about the Return of the Jedi toys. These are toys that were just released from 1978 to 1985. So we're not going to do Power of the Force or anything like that. We'll revisit that at a different time. James and I have had a lot of these planned, so this is our first debut. In fact, the funny thing is, when we were testing Toxic Tears, this is the first test we did, James and I, with the Star Wars vehicle. So this is the official version, but I think we tested it twice, right? With this, James?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but hopefully you guys will really enjoy this. So let's talk about our first toy, which is the
New Star Wars radio-controlled Jawa Sandcrawler.
Let's find some droids.
I did not have this.
9-volt and 2D batteries not included.
That neither did I.
Star droid.
Action figures sold separately.
Up the elevator. He's in.
By radio control, you can make the Sandcrawler travel almost any direction by going forward, backward, then forward again.
Now find more droids.
Star Wars radio-controlled Jawa Sandcrawler. Action figures each sold separately. New from Kenner.
So I wanted this so bad. Now it's radio control. And for those of you who don't know, radio control means it had the antenna. Remote control means it had that stupid fucking wire that nobody liked. We had to follow it like on a leash. This looked awesome. Not only could you put the characters inside, but it looks very, very similar to the movie. I love the playability of the remote control. Really is a cool kind of, you can even use it as a storage kind of chest for your figures as well. I just think it's just a cool idea, period. However, back in the day, realize any radio control vehicle like this, you probably got about 5 or 6 plays out of it before either the wheels started to wear down or you got some sand or something in the gears. These did not run well on carpet. It had to be a very flat surface. And knowing me, we had a dirt driveway next to our concrete driveway in New Jersey. I would have been playing with this in the sand because it's a sand crawler and probably would have destroyed the inner riggings very quickly. So, James, what are your thoughts on this one? I know you didn't really have a lot of these toys growing up, obviously, but the ones that you were able to get, what do you think of this one? Would you wanted to have this type of toy?
Well, growing up, I always loved the Sandcrawler. I always liked its design. And just judging by this toy alone, I love its authentic design of the fact that you can, have Jawas, have some droids in there, and obviously R2 and 3PO, and then just set it up, like in the film. And definitely, I may not have grown up with too many remote control toys in my life, but I have no doubt that
radio control.
Oh, okay, sorry, video control. But I definitely would have enjoyed playing with that. If based on what you just said, if it's limited to only on flat surfaces, not on dirty surfaces or carpets, then yeah, that probably would suck for me, considering what it's a sand crawler. But it's not too bad. It definitely, if I had that now, it definitely would make a good display item for me. If I could start putting more shelves in my room and start putting that stuff around, yes, I would definitely add that to my shelf and set it up. Yeah.
Again, this was back in the day we had linoleum kitchens and vinyl flooring kitchens. So on that surface, this thing would have ran like a dream. But if you were to try to run this outside on like a driveway that had any kind of gravel to the concrete or the asphalt, maybe if you had hardwood floors, but you try to run this in carpet, it would grind to all pretty quickly. I'm not going to penalize it for that because that was obviously for the time, that was what they had.
Yeah.
But I think this is a go, James. I just think the look of it, the playability of it, the fact that it just looks like you would have a ball with this. I mean, you could recreate every scene on Tatooine with this thing.
Yes.
So you could have the Stormtrooper's card jacket.
That's true. Normally I would kind of give it, I was thinking about probably giving it an A, but considering, besides its flaw with the grinding, I would probably say, I'd give it an S.
Yeah, I think it's worth an S. And what I love about these toys, I know you guys were watching the lead-in. We had the lead-in stuff showing all the commercials. What I loved about Star Wars marketing department was they were deliberately allowing kids to create their own adventures. They were one of the first ones to do that. So they were showing, sometimes they would do like a scene from the movie, but when they did it, like, I don't know if you guys saw in the lead-in when they had the Han Solo scene with him getting frozen carbonite, it was just basically a bunch of cups stacked on each other, and they dropped him the cup like he was going into carbonite. That's the way we played with these toys. So we had to use our own imagination. So I love the fact that the marketing really did play into the authenticity of kids making up their own stories with these figures, doing scenes from the movie, but having the ability to go beyond the movie and kind of do what they want with the figures, which gave them ownership in the characters, which is something
Right.
that hadn't been done with figures before. I mean, you could say that of obviously the G.I. Joes and the Barbies and stuff, but Star Wars had a movie to go with it. So you had the world building, and then you could take what they built with that world and make it your own, which I think is awesome.
Kind of like how Robot Chicken did, where they had Luke, drive
Oh, yeah. I remember.
drive a Sandcrawler out. Like after he finds out that his uncle and aunt are dead, Obi-Wan assures him that he is now the sole owner of a Sandcrawler, and Luke just goes ballistic and goes, "Oh yeah!"
That's not the one they did the scene like from Ferris Bueller where it jumps. It jumps over. Oh yeah, I think a scene like from Ferris Bueller where I don't know if you guys see Ferris Bueller, but they jump Cameron's dad's car. It's a Corvette, and in the Robot Chicken special, they jump the. I think he's racing the dewbacks, and he jumps the sand.
He runs over a dewback, and then he actually races another Sandcrawler.
Right.
Oh, and it's so funny. So, but yeah, same principle. Yeah, that people can use their imagination with these toys within this whole world built, and it's fantastic. So.
You guys got to check out the Robot Chicken Star Wars specials. They're on HBO Max right now, but because I don't think Adult Swim exists even anymore, so it's a shame. All right, next up.
Here's the Star Wars X-Wing Fighter and the Star Wars TIE Fighter. Spaceships and Luke Skywalker sold separately. Batteries not included.
I'll get you this time, you reactivate X-Wing.
Both with flashing lights and sound.
Hey, there go the solar panel. And Darth Vader got away. Fox is with me. Luke Skywalker wins again.
Kenner's Star Wars X-Wing Fighter, TIE Fighter, and action figures all sold separately.
The X-Wing fighter. This was This was the boss. I remember when I got this, I think I got mine for Christmas. And I remember tearing into the wrapping paper and going, "Are you kidding me?" And I think they had got me the Luke Skywalker figure, which was the Farm Boy Luke, they call him. I know a lot of people hate that name, but they didn't come out. I don't think they came out with the, I don't remember when they came out. Was it Empire when they came out with the actual Luke Skywalker in the flight gear? Anyway, you had the built-in R2, you pressed R2 down, the wings popped open.
Yes.
It had that, again, I don't blame the 70s first, but it had the light at the front, which replicated the laser. And it had that, but it did have a very irritating laser sound effect. It wasn't a very good sound effect, but hours of play, hours, because this thing was sizable. I mean, it was about that big minimally. And I mean, just a great fun. The only downside was the, I don't know, the black, I'm assuming those are also like lasers.
Those are the lasers. Yeah.
They broke really easy. So, or they would pop off.
They pop off mainly.
Also, the cockpit cover would break. So that was your two most fragile parts. But overall, a very strong toy. But it is definitely the king. Like when you think of Star Wars as a whole, there's 3 ships I think you think of: the TIE Fighter, the X-Wing, and the Millennium Falcon, and then Slave One. But I think those 3 are the trinity of Star Wars vehicles. And so this, as a kid, when you got this, and literally we talked about making your own world, you could do so many things with the X-Wing as far as reenact scenes from from the movies, and then create your own adventures. Maybe a stormtrooper hijacks a X-Wing, and you're fighting against your own guys. You're fighting against TIE fighters. You're escorting the Millennium Falcon. You're visiting new worlds. This is Star Wars. Remember, this is before Dagobah. So you could, you went from the backyard, the planet of the backyard, to the planet of the front yard. It was a lot of fun. So, James, what is your take on the X-Wing?
Oh, wow. I've always loved the X-Wing, and just this design alone is beautiful. It's very authentic, and despite its flaws, like as far as like the pop off lasers and the annoying light and sound, all in all, it makes a phenomenal display piece. It's beautiful, and yeah, like you were saying before, it's amazing for kids to just grab it, fly it around, act like they're in reenacting a battle scene from the movie, or making up their own And of like if like one of their friend had a TIE fighter, they could just chase each other down and either smash their ships together or go. It's man. I mean, back then when I was a kid, just that's definitely what me and my friends did. We definitely would take our ships. I didn't have that Well, I actually didn't have the X-wing at all. But I would borrow my friends, and we would just run around his backyard, making the pew 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 noises, and then most of the time we just like hit our toys together. Yeah,
the battering ram mode.
The battery ram. Yeah, we were very aggressive.
there really wasn't any way to remedy the black lasers, because if they had made them solid pieces, they probably would have broke. Like you when you got the toy, you had to snap them on. Had they been pre-built on there, they probably would have broke a lot sooner.
Probably.
The other thing is, many times when I was playing with, I didn't use the laser sound effect. That got old quick. And also, those type of toys back then, this include all of battery operated toys, those batteries to corrode quick. So if you left that battery in there too long, you would get corrosion. And so that was a notorious thing on a lot of these battery operated toys back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. So, but this to me is a GOAT. I don't think there's any other way you can call it. What do you think, James?
Oh, I mean, like I said, despite its flaws, that is no doubt, an OG piece of art. So,
and well, again, we're not gonna dig these toys on the technology available for the day. That would not be fair.
Right.
So, all right. Next up is the remote control. I mean, the radio control again, not remote radio, sonic control land speeder. This had it was basically the land speeder toy that rolled on its own using an RT style remote. I don't think it had turning functions. I think it just went forward.
Right.
It might have went backward. I did have this, and I will tell you, I did not like this toy because the remote was cool. The radio controller was cool, but I preferred using the manual one with the pop-up hood, which we'll be looking at second. I didn't enjoy this one as much. It's basically the same thing. The figures fit in the same way. You just have the RC function. So it wasn't as exciting as what the radio control Sandcrawl would have been for me. But what's your thoughts, James?
I mean, it looks great. And now I did have my own land speeder, and it had a pop-up. Front. Like for the
traditional one, yeah.
Traditional one, yeah. I don't know. As much as I like the style of the remote, I don't know. It's
that to me is the only highlight. Like I love the fact they used R2 as a remote.
I suppose.
And again, it does not travel well. Like you have to have a flat.
Yeah, I probably would never really play with that one much. Just because I don't know. It's a different form. Like it's not something that I would play with over and over again, if you get what I mean.
No,
not as much as I would do like the X-wing or anything like that.
No, I'm going to give it a C because it's got playability. I'm sure kids loved it because it was radio controlled. Like I said, the highlight for me was that really cool.
And the fact that it doesn't turn, that's
yeah. It just to me was not. It's not an F or a Z, but it's not. I like James just said. I preferred the one that you played with just on your own as opposed to the RC one. So
yeah, I would probably give it a C too.
Okay, great. Now we saw the TIE fighter in the earlier commercial.
Yes.
So this is the traditional TIE fighter, which is I think it's a beautiful toy. I don't know why, but this toy is just beautiful to me. The features, it had the fake laser. It had the cockpit, which was very easy to stick your figure in through that cockpit, which one thing I do applaud for these toys is the accessibility of allowing the figures to get in and out of the vehicles was stellar. You still got paint rub. That was going to happen no matter what. But it wasn't as bad as some toys of the time where when you stuck a figure in there, you were getting serious paint rub on the legs, on the waist, on the torso, sometimes on the hands and the feet. The real cool feature is the fact that the side panels, the solar panels blow off. So when you're fighting your X-wing, you can take the damage and actually have the wings or the panels pop off. And I will tell you, surprisingly, the on-off, like they pop off and you step back on, the functionality lasted a long time. I had one of these and I was really abused. I had a couple of these, but I was really abusive with these things. I was playing hard with both these and the X-wing, and I never had one where the wings didn't pop back on. Now, I did have friends that had that issue where eventually the spring mechanism would break or something would snap, and
Probably because they were just being too rough.
and that's most likely. But I think durability, it's a strong, solid toy, and did a lot better than I think I would have thought the mechanics of that time would have allowed. What's your thoughts, James?
Well, first of all, I love the TIE Fighter, and I definitely love that design. And the cool part about how the wings can fall off, it's amazing. It definitely can spring the kids' imagination as far as when they're, as I mentioned before, playing space battles and then having it fall apart as if it's been blasted. It's amazing, and yeah, the durability looks fantastic. So I definitely give that one a top grade.
Again, I think the three top vehicles that everyone, it's like Superman's insignia. It's the TIE Fighter, the X-Wing, and the Millennium Falcon are probably three most recognizable vehicles from Star Wars. They may be the most recognizable space vehicles in cinema, period.
Yeah.
So, next up, this goes into kind of, is this an action figure? Are the creatures technically action figures? My thought is if they can ride on the figure can ride on it, and it's used as kind of a vehicle or a transport, it should be a vehicle. So I'm counting it. That's the
means of transport. Is
Now get a Star Wars collection. It's the Patrol Do-Bag action figure sold separately.
Let's find the droids. Do that. Hi, R2.
You can imagine you're a stormtrooper on the Patrol Do-Bag, searching for R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Look for planes. Do that.
By moving his tail, you can make Do-Bag's head turn left and right. You can move his legs, too.
He found us. Good work, Do-Back.
The new Star Wars Patrol Do-Bag from the Star Wars collection. Action figures each sold separately by Kennan.
The cool thing about the Do-Back was that this figure, and this was pretty common with all of these kind of creature vehicles, was that the Do-Back, the figure slid right in the top. So basically the legs would slide in, it would be waist up. Again, the only issue is paint wear. But, and I will tell you that strap, the harness that goes around the head and the stormtrooper holes, that notoriously either got lost or broke. But other than that, and I think when you wag the tail, the head moved. It didn't have an opening mouth. So it was kind of base, but at the same token, it was a cool thing to army build. And remember back then, guys, these toys, the TIE Fighters, the X-Wings, they ran anywhere from $12.99 to maybe $20. A Do-Back was like $10. Sometimes you could find them on sale for $7.99. So this was a toy you could buy and probably get away with, if you had lawnmower money, probably buy a couple of action figures and a Do-Back, like two stormtroopers. So you could army build not just with stormtroopers, but you could have 3 or 4 Do-Backs eventually. And this was also something I remember when I used to go flea marketing with my family, you'd find these all the time stripped down, missing all the pieces. But you'd find them for like $1.50 at a flea market where they were working pretty well. They probably had some paint wear and stuff. But again, you could army build with them. And, as a kid, you didn't really care if, I'm missing the harness and all that because it was still a Do-Back. But I know these are very hard to find complete. But I did like this toy. I like the look of it. I like the feel of it. It had the texturing on the paint and the molding, so it felt like scales. It just had a good look to it. And I think it was, it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of playability to it. And it looked like the creature from the movie. Of course, remember, we're comparing this to the theatrical, not like anything that was done afterward when George Lucas did his enhancements, which I love. But we're comparing these to the actual, the first theatrical releases where you didn't have the extra CGI elements. So I don't know, James. I think it's authentic. I think it was fun. What's your thoughts on the Do-Back?
As authentic as it looks, personally, then again, please don't be mad at me, people, but I never really was into the Do-Backs. I just never really got into them. I mean, I mean, the toy itself looks fantastic, but not something I would add to my collection. Just because I always, growing up watching the films, I never gave the dewbacks much mind because I would if you say to me what ship do you think of with the stormtrooper, my immediate thought is either the speed racer. I'm sorry, the speeder or the
Speeder bike. The speeder bike, you mean?
speeder bike.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I would never automatically think the dewback. So it's a good looking toy. I would personally pass on it because it doesn't really spike my interest.
This has got a severe nostalgia factor because remember, there were very limited toys coming out for the first round. So anything we got from Star Wars, and it wasn't a key scene in the movie, but it's not, like you said, it's not a TIE fighter or X-Wing level notoriety when it comes to the Star Wars universe.
Exactly.
The playability is really big. So now we're at a point where we've got enough of an idea of kind of a range. We've got S's being stuff like the TIE fighter, the X-Wing, and C's being something like the RC Landspeeder. So I think we could add another element of comparability. So I think it would probably be a C for most people. I don't think it would be an F. It might be an A. It would be an A for me. But I do agree with James. If you had gotten this plus an X-Wing for Christmas, you would be wearing the hell out of that X-Wing.
Yeah.
So the dewback would probably be used when, you were just kind of doing something else. So, but I think a C is a fair grade for that. What do you think, James?
I agree.
Okay. Terrific. All right. Fantastic. All right. Next up is the Landspeeder.
Okay.
The real one.
It's the new Star Wars Landspeeder.
Wow, looks like it's floating. The damn people are coming. It's up to Luke Skywalker and his Landspeeder to get us out.
Action figures each sold separately. The Landspeeder has a snap-open space hatch, and Star Wars action figures R2-D2 and C-3PO fit right in back.
Hurry there, Fancy. Activate spring glide wheels. The Force goes with us. Yeah.
Kenner's new Star Wars Landspeeder.
I can't think of that without thinking from the Lego Star Wars game where R2 falls off the Landspeeder, and as they're looking at Mos Eisley, R2's zooming up to catch up with them. I'm sorry. Every time I see that, it reminds me of that funny cutscene from Lego Star Wars.
Very cool. This was the RC just had the RC element, but this one had the lever, which allowed you to either have it sitting stationary or roll. It did roll very well. Again, very smooth surface only. I think they really overextended.
So not on carpet or dirt.
And I don't think it would have rolled that well on that. The what they were showing. And you had the pop-up hood. Really, that's really all that was to this. It had a pop-up hood, and you could roll it or it's stationary, but it did look like the item. It wasn't any really extravagant. And I do know that if you weren't careful, the windshield, best way to put it, would notoriously break.
This should be called safe light repair.
Yep. So, it's a cool toy. Very, very much something that people recognize as part of the Star Wars legacy. I don't know, James. Is it an A though? I mean, does it fall in the A or is it more of a C? Do you think?
It's definitely an A. It is a major improvement over the last one we just reviewed.
Okay.
I like that it can move in any direction you want. I love the pop-up trunk and once again,
hood.
Sorry, hood. My bad. And I think it looks more authentic than the RC one. And it's I don't know. It definitely makes a good display. It definitely makes a better display item than the RC one.
I think it's the same. I think it's the same toy. They just took out they added the RC element. I even think the wheels are the same. But I do know that I think that having the RC element takes the imagination out of it. And the wheels don't turn. I mean, you've got to move it around. But I mean, for me, the RC, like with the Sandcrawler, it's a cool thing. The RC element with the Landspeeder, not so much. I like the fact that you have the freedom to playability, but I'll give it an A. I might have given it a C because comparative to a lot of the other vehicles, it doesn't really stand up, but it's also a land vehicle, and land vehicles aren't as fun as air vehicles or space vehicles.
Correct.
That's just a guy thing. So.
That's one way of putting it.
Yep. All right, next up.
From Kenner's Star Wars collection, the Darth Vader TIE Fighter.
careful, look, we've got company.
X-Wing fighter and action figure sold separately. Batteries not included.
See, that's exactly what my
Darth
friends
Vader's TIE fighter has flashing light, action sound.
Luke's forcefully strong, but we've got him now. Oh, no, you don't. We've lost those shoulder panels.
Oh, this brings me back.
Hey, I'll be back.
And in Star Wars, Darth Vader
be
TIE
back.
fighter,
Where's the
X-Wing
Terminator?
fighter and
I'll be back.
action figure each.
Oh gosh.
That's where Arnold got his classic line from. So the only difference, well, I mean, you can see the differences between this and the TIE fighter. One at the color, it's got the concave wings.
Yes.
Panels. By the way, I didn't know, James. I never got the battle scene. You could send away for the battle scene background. I wish I would have done that. See that the special offer?
Yeah.
I wish that's freaking sweet. That would be
Oh,
so
gosh.
awesome as it is. Again,
That would have been cool.
wings, the panels pop off. It's got that irritating laser light and sound. Good size entrance to the cockpit. And Darth Vader was not an easy figure to put in there because you had that vinyl cape. I will tell you, if you try to put the vinyl cape Darth Vader in this thing, you're going to rip your vinyl cape. I remember deliberately taking the vinyl cape off to put him in here because I was.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
No, you would put the whole figure in there. That was in the commercial, but that vinyl cape was shit. That thing would rip if you looked at it wrong. So
Okay.
I remember, because back then you could buy another Darth Vader if you ripped one, or you tore the cape. I remember I had two Darth Vaders, one that I had destroyed the cape or the cloak or whatever, the vinyl cloak, when I put it inside the ship. And so that's the one I used when I used the ship, because I just took his cape off, which he looks kind of stupid naked. But
No, remember, Vader never wore his cape in the TIE fighter.
well, in this they have him wearing it.
Right, but in the movie,
No,
he never wore
I know. But the thing is, the vinyl cape was a bad idea anyway, because that thing ripped. Even when you were taking on and off, you were taking a huge chance of ripping the armholes and so forth. But when you played with this item, you definitely put the whole figure in there. And if you did that, you typically ripped the cape, the vinyl cape. So I had my TIE fighter, what you're saying, I had my Darth Vader who didn't have his cloak, who flew in the fighter. And then I had my one that had the coat. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I will tell you, if you had the Darth Vader with the weird tip to his lightsaber, you know what I'm talking about, that real thin tip,
Yeah.
it would break off if you stuck him in there. That was
Yeah.
not the
Not a good idea.
actual lightsaber slide part, because that was when they had the slide lightsabers. But if it had that little extra tip on it, it would definitely snap off quite easily. So, yeah, I never had a problem getting him out, Shane. Shane Reed, by the way, hi, Shane. Shane said he had a hard time getting him out. I never had a hard time getting him out. It was just ripping that cape. But again, I played rough with this and the panels, and I never had a problem with panels going back on. So, and this was the one you would army build with the older TIE fighter, but you had just one Darth Vader TIE fighter, because there would not be a multiple. But I remember army building with the X-Wings and the regular TIE fighters. I remember having 2 or 3 of each. And again, we weren't rich. You would basically go to, my parents used to flea market every Saturday, which was such a story for a different day. But you would go to a flea market and find an X-Wing kind of in bad shape, but it was enough that you could use as a second X-Wing. So you had your good X-Wing and your backup X-Wing, and then you could army build that way. And you'd find them for like $3-5. Some of them would work, some of them wouldn't. Some of them missing the black lasers, or the cockpit. But I mean, again, you're a kid, so you didn't care, especially back then. We weren't so immersed with, everything at our fingertips. So, you took what you got. But again, super iconic. I think this is a GOAT. What do you think, James?
Oh, absolutely. That is 100% an OG. I like that. That's a classic one. And as much as I wish they had used that shit more in the movies, it definitely made a fun toy to play with.
It just shows up in Star Wars, right? I don't think it shows up in Empire or.
Nope, not Empire or Return of the Jedi.
Because this is he gets knocked when the Death Star gets blown up. He goes spinning, and again, that's another great Robot Chicken sketch when he calls into the Empire.
Flying around for 2 weeks trying to get a signal. It would smell like feet wrapped in leathery burnt bacon.
Okay, so who's left? Are you me? Well, where are you? Wait a sec, you've been flying around for 2 weeks trying to get a signal? Oh, you must smell like feet wrapped in leathery burnt bacon. I'm sorry. I thought my Dark Lord of the Sith could protect a small thermal exhaust port that's only 2 meters wide. That thing wasn't even fully paid off yet.
You gotta check out the rope.
Yeah.
And stuff special.
But I definitely that is a great looking toy. It's like something that you could, either display on your shelf or hang up on your ceiling.
Yep.
And there is no question in my mind that Darth Vader's TIE fighter is definitely an iconic ship, and I would not put it. I wouldn't rank it less.
No, I wouldn't either. I think it's awesome. And that was the last Star Wars vehicle. That was the last vehicle they made in the Star Wars line for that movie line. And so, what a way to cap off the series. But it's I love that. I loved it. It was awesome. A lot of fun to play with. And I had my naked Darth Vader flying his TIE fighter and my cloaked Darth Vader fighting his battles against Obi-Wan. So, all right, moving to the Empire line, we have possibly the most boring vehicle. I believe it's the most boring vehicle they made, except for maybe the Ewok stuff, but
Intruders and clowns.
Oh gosh, those.
Investigate.
From Kenner's Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection, Twin Pod Cloud Car.
Bespin Guard, who is she? I'm Princess Leia. I'm being followed, Mando. Quick, get in.
Lando Calrissian and other action figures each sold separately. You can open and close both cockpits and push the landing gear.
Don't worry, they'll never catch you now.
Twin Pod Cloud Car from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection. Action figures each sold separately. From Kenner.
yeah, but as I went back to the fact you could create your own adventure. Lando could.
I know, but I never found those ships appealing.
No, this had not. Literally, they highlight the fact the landing gear goes up and down. That's how little this thing offers. That they had to, in the commercial, promote the landing gear going up and down like that was a major feature.
And those ships barely. It's the only useful thing they did was escort the Falcon to the landing pad. That's it.
This was such a miss because we never got the carbonite freezing chamber except for that ridiculous cardboard one that I think Sears released that would get ruined after first play. Instead, they put the money into this, which nobody cared about this vehicle. It wasn't a fighter jet. It shows up for like a couple seconds, I think, when they enter Cloud City. I think, when George did the upgrades, he added more of them, but it's a dumb vehicle. It's a dumb vehicle. I think one of the worst vehicles they created in the line, which James, I'll let you close it off.
Oh yeah, there is no question in my mind that if I had to say what if you said twin pod in Star Wars, I would say what? Yeah. Unless you showed me a picture, I'm like, oh, that. Yeah. So I would give it a flat out 0.
I give it a Z. I think literally.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't think there's any playability to this.
No.
I mean, again, it requires you to revamp the toy. And again, guys, coming from kid play, okay? I don't want you guys to go, oh, Ron's being one of those fans. No. Coming from a child getting this toy in the 70s, 80s, in order to make this toy work with your X-Wing or wherever, you had to basically say, oh, it had lasers, and it didn't. Or it had some sort of function other than what it had in the film. So it was you had to do a complete revamp. Other than that, it's basically just a boring toy. Yeah. And I don't think anybody would grab that toy over any other toy that was available. There's some toys in this list that are like not even vehicles I think people would choose over the twin pod cloud car. So it was a dumb move. It was a dumb move.
Well, let's just move on.
Now, we move from a dumb move to fucking sweet move.
Laser gun.
Yes.
Firing. Release landing gear.
From Kenner's Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection, it's new Rebel Armored Snowspeeder. Batteries not included.
You got my message.
C-3PO and Rebel Soldier action figures each sold separately.
We'll get you to safety. The Empire forces. We've got
That's definitely being creative.
Snowspeeder has laser guns with sound and light action.
I think you got a lot more action and kids.
Rebel Armored Snowspeeder from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection. You have to put it together. Action figures each sold separately. New from Kenner.
So this was, I really think they said, okay, we've got the X-Wing. What can we do to add more wow factor. So one, you've got two figures that sit back to back. Two, you've got the back grappling gun.
Yes.
You've got those really cool laser cannons in the front that lit up. And then it was a very durable toy. Like this was much, I think, more durable than the X-Wing. Although I will tell you, the only real fragile part would be the cannons, the front cannons. But they also had a blue box version. I think the blue box is more rare or rarer. I think.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but they re-released it in a blue box format. But I love this vehicle. It was such a cool, when they went from Star Wars to Empire, you were happy with what they did in Star Wars. George upped the game by adding all these extra vehicles. Some of them were takeoffs of vehicles that we'd seen, and some were just completely new. And this was unlike the X-Wing, which is, I think, more of a space fighter. This is a terrestrial fighter, and I love that. I love that there was different. It was introducing different forms of fighter jets. They're not jets, but you know what I'm saying. Air power in the universe with the Rebels. But I love this thing, James. I love this thing. In fact, I didn't care that it was a terrestrial base in the movie. This thing flew with my X-Wings and took on TIE fighters and escorted the Millennium Falcon and blew up cloud cars willy-nilly. So what's your thoughts?
While they're absolutely, I wouldn't say they're my favorite ships. But I definitely, have a lot of respect for, what they could do in the movies and, definitely what the features that it's got, the grappling hook. I mean, if I never had these growing up, but a friend of mine did, and he had an AT-AT, and now the grappling hook couldn't extend fully, but we could maybe make one loop around the legs and then pretend that we made a full loop and then crash the AT-AT down. But yeah, I would personally say that as much of a good ship it is, I wouldn't say it adds up to the same value as
I disagree. This is a goat to me. 100% goat.
And that's fine.
Yeah. And I think the reason why, James, not just the playability, but it played such an important part in the film.
Oh yeah.
So many ways that it was, to me, it's a goat. It's absolute goat. By the way, Shane, yes, Empire is probably, I think most people.
Oh, Empire's my favorite.
It's the best Star Wars.
It's my all-time favorite Star Wars movie.
It's the best Star Wars film out there. I know a lot of people do that so they could sound cool, but I absolutely love Star Wars. I love Empire. I'm a big fan of Jedi too. I know a lot of people shit on Jedi because of Ewoks, but I love Empire. Empire is just such a cool story where the heroes are equalized.
Yes.
And the risk felt real. You really didn't know what was going to happen. And when Han went into the carbonite, man, that was a tough scene.
And then the infamous "I am your father" plot was, how that shattered the lunch
that only Mark Hamill knew about.
No, he did not. He found out later.
Yeah, but he was the only actor who knew about it. He did an interview on it was on the BBC. I forget, the Graham Norton show.
And there was a wonderful substitute revelation in that scene. The way we filmed it, Vader said, "You don't know the truth. Obi-Wan killed your father." And the idea of Alec Guinness being the real villain, I thought, wow, what a spectacular twist. And it's just as you see in the film. No, search your feelings, you know it's true. Wallop, the hand goes off. But
so vivid.
The director, Irvin Kershner, took me aside. He came to my dressing room, actually, and he said, I'm going to tell you something. I know it. George Lucas knows it. And when I tell you, you'll know it. But if it leaks, we'll know it was you. So I said, what? And he handed me the piece of paper that said, "I am your father." I was shocked. I said, is that true? He said, well, you search your feelings and we're going to play it like, yeah, it is. So, oh my gosh, Dad, Vader.
And had to keep that quiet. Yeah, you couldn't.
Honestly, yeah.
But yeah, you had that scene, and then you had a massive cliffhanger at the end. And it was just, we weren't used to that. I mean, our parents were, because they grew up with cliffhangers like Captain Midnight and Low Range and all that, but we had not experienced cliffhangers like that, and that was huge.
Yep.
So that was huge. So, but yeah, so definitely, I think James would have given it an A. I would have given it.
I would have given it an A, but if you give it an S, that's fine.
No, I like the fact that there's a couple we're gonna differ on, because I think that's fair deal. Like, I would have given the Do Back an A. James gave it a C, but I gave it a C because he's right. It is comparative to other. If we did a comparative, it's not going to line up with a land speeder.
Right.
Yeah. So I agree. All right. Next up is, again, then Star Wars started doing. I didn't realize it did as soon as Empire, but they started creating vehicles that weren't in the movie, but because they knew the kids they were creating their own adventures with these toys, which I think is amazing. It's such a great, brilliant merchandising. In fact, most companies use the Kenner merchandising of Star Wars as kind of the benchmark of how to advertise their toys, at least during that time period. But the Rebel transport was not in the film. It ended up, I think the first time it showed up was in The Mandalorian.
That was the Imperial.
Star Wars Imperial troop transporter that you put together. Batteries not included. Stormtroopers sold separately.
What's that?
It's my troop transporter. It makes 5 more sounds, too.
Where are you?
Central laser cannon, stun gun, and stormtrooper.
Did he say that?
Oh, Dad.
Star Wars Imperial troop transporter. Stormtrooper sold separately. New from Kenner.
So this was a confusing toy when it came out because it wasn't in the film. And even at the age that I was at, this seemed like a completely ridiculous toy, because if the stormtroopers were going into a valley where there were snipers, they were really lining them up. And then why does it have R2-D2 and C-3PO sounds on an Imperial transport? So it was really an odd toy. And Favreau, who's such a huge fan of Star Wars, finally had it show up in live action, The Mandalorian. But it rolled. But I got this as a flea market toy and never had it in box. It was working, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. It's a dumb toy. Is it as dumb as the Cloud Car? No. But again, it just didn't make sense to me. Am I overselling that, James?
Not in my opinion. I would look. I appreciate Jon Favreau making it look awesome on live action. I'm not denying that, but if you showed me that ship as a kid, I would not even play with it much. I just don't like its design with the stormtroopers hanging in stuff.
Yeah, does it?
That it has R2 and 3PO's noises is ridiculous.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
I would have to give. I would not rank it the same grade as the Twin Pods, but I would still give it an F.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're 100% the same page there. It still has playability. It still is cool in the essence that it's a Star Wars vehicle. But it doesn't. The only reason it doesn't get an F is because it's not as bad as the Cloud Car, and the Cloud Car is the benchmark. But you're going to see a lot of these toys there, especially when you get into Jedi. They were trying to add extra vehicles because they knew kids were creating their own adventures, and I respect that and appreciate it. But this was an odd choice.
It was
an odd choice of design, an odd choice, just period. So I think an F is appropriate. Now we get into our second kind of, is it a figure or is it a vehicle? Again, it is for transport. This is the first one that was released.
Oh, yeah.
Tauntaun!
From Kenner's Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection, it's Tauntaun.
The mission has earned it.
Tauntaun has removable reins and saddle. Action figures each sold separately.
Hail, Rebel soldier! Han Solo, hell! Luke Skywalker's in danger!
Tauntaun's front and hind legs move.
Luke's okay! I found him! Our mission's complete.
Tauntaun from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection. Action figures each sold separately. From Kenner.
This played a big part in the film. It's a cool creature. I love the design. Absolutely.
It's very cool.
In fact, I think they even made a furry version later on. I love the. I don't know if you remember, James. They did the 12-inch Power of the Force. They had the Hoth Han on top of the bit. It was a 12-inch Tauntaun.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was really cool.
I never got
one
that.
of my favorites of that line. And again, this was the one I believe, James, I'm correct, he slid at the top like the dewback, which really did wreck the paint on the legs of your figures. Also, the reins, again, missing, broken. And I do remember, God forbid you took the saddle off. That was a pain in the ass to get back on. I had a ton of these. Anytime I saw one of these, when they were on sale at the store or we found one at a flea market, I was buying Tauntauns. I loved Tauntauns.
John said that he had two where...
Yeah, we're going to get to the second one. Yep, there were two versions. This was the first.
Luke in the belly.
Yeah, that was the second version, but we'll get to that one second. But this one, for me personally, I just love the design. I like it being half kangaroo, half horse, half goat, half ram. It just looked great on screen. The toy was really solid. But I like the dewback. I don't know. It doesn't measure up to a ship. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I still would not put that on the top with the ships. It's better than the dewback, though. So I personally would give it an A.
Now, before you do that, would you give this one the A or the one we're going to look at later with the open belly? Because that adds an extra level. So for me, I think this one, because of that, a new one would probably be a C. And when we get to the Tauntaun with the belly, which gave that extra added action, I think that was more the A.
I guess, probably.
So that's...
If I take a look at it, I'll make my mind.
We'll leave it at a C for now, James. If you say, Ron, no, I still think it's an A after that, because they did have another version of it. Next up is, it's not as bad as a Cloud Car, but fucking, I don't know what the hell they were thinking with this one. Such a disappointment.
Activate meditation chamber.
From Kenner's Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection,
Not a
Darth Vader
meditation
Star Destroyer that you put together, batteries not
Listen to
included.
it, yo.
Vader's stronger now. He's got moves.
New Luke Skywalker. Action figures each sold separately. You can slide the viewing screen, turn Darth on the command bridge, and make Luke escape through the hidden hatch.
Test the laser cannon. We gotta find
This is
Luke.
supposed to be the Star
Darth Vader Star Destroyer from
That's
Star
supposed
Wars,
to be
The
the
Empire
Star
Strikes
Destroyer?
Back collection. Action figures each sold
Absolutely.
separately. New from Kenner.
I'm sorry. I don't even have to go through with the specs. That is an absolute Z. I do not like that at all.
All right, let me talk about it for a
You
second.
go ahead and talk about it, but I've already made it my mind.
So it has the Darth Vader chamber from the Empire where you see him without his helmet, right, James?
Yes.
It's got the feature where Luke is hanging upside down, which I don't remember that except in the Wampa Cave.
Yeah, only in the Wampa Cave.
It's got a piece of red plastic that's supposed to be a viewing screen. Then it has the weird cannon at the front. It has a handle at the bottom so you can fly it. At best, it's a shitty playset. It's not
It's
a
horrible.
vehicle, but it is a vehicle. I think if I would have seen this as a Star Wars designer, I would have went to the head office and said, don't put this out.
Oh, yeah. I would have.
No, especially if they were planning on making the Death Star playset, I would have added some of these features maybe in the Death Star, but it doesn't make sense. And I understand, again, they were adding vehicles that had extra playability so kids could kind of do their own thing, but this just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So, is it a Z though? I mean, I know.
I give it a flat out Z. It is just absolutely pathetic.
You think it's as bad as the Cloud Car?
Not as bad.
I
but
would say an F only because it's got some more playability than the Cloud Car.
Yes, but I don't like its. I don't know. It's just
No, I
yeah,
get
it's better. It's better than the Twin Pod. Yes.
Yeah,
But yeah, fine. We'll
I
give
get
it
what you're saying, James.
as soon as I saw the design, it freaked me out.
I think the only reason I'm giving it an F is because compared to the Cloud Car. I think that's pretty much it.
pretty like that's as merciful as we're gonna be.
I'm being merciful because of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. Okay, let's get the palate cleanser. Here comes the palate cleanser.
Oh.
Prepare to receive
Yes.
cargo.
Kenner's Slave One comes with frozen Han Solo.
Is Han Solo completely frozen stormtrooper? Yes, Boba Fett.
Action figures each sold separately.
Place them in the prisoner retention unit.
Slave One has a rear loading ramp,
Prepare for takeoff. Check.
movable cannons, and gravity-operated wings that trigger lock.
On to Jabba.
Slave One with frozen Han Solo from Kenner's Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection. Action figures each sold separately.
Now, before I get into this vehicle, because I have a lot to say about that, Shane, I agree with you. Especially, I don't know if the flag came out at this time, but they could have created a flag-style Star Destroyer where you kind of landed vehicles on it and stuff. But I don't know if they came out at the same time. If they did, it would make sense for it to be a flag-style toy, USS flag-style toy. If they didn't, G.I. Joe was first to the market with that kind of toy. And I do think parents would have paid $100 for a Star Destroyer. No doubt kids would have, especially during that, kids would have drove their parents crazy. I also agree it would have been if they would have came up with like 4 or 5 different play sets to connect together to become a Star Destroyer. That is also a very cool idea.
Yeah.
Problem is with that Star Destroyer, none of it makes sense. The only thing it's got is the chamber. The only thing from the movie it's got is the chamber from the thing, from Darth Vader's meditation chamber, his yoga, his spa treatment. That's the only thing. The rest of it didn't make any sense. It was just to me, a really cheap knockoff.
Yeah.
All right, Slave One. Go ahead.
I was going to say that right there.
Slave One had no electronics. It was all manual, and it is probably one of the funnest vehicles to play with. The wings flipped up. Boba Fett changed his position. You had the carbonite Han Solo. It had the cannons. It was all imagination. And this is probably the ship besides the Falcon that I played with the most. And had constant battles with the Slave One versus the Falcon. And at that time, we didn't know anything about Boba Fett. So you really had, except for the Star Wars Christmas special, you really had freedom to really add your own personality to Fett and kind of create your own backstory and all that. So as far as what I was talking about earlier with you creating your own story from this ship and that character allowed it.
Yes.
100%. So I love this toy, James. I loved it as a kid. I love it now. Go ahead.
Oh, I wish I had this ship as a kid. A friend of mine did have that ship, and it was big, and it was fantastic looking. And I wish that ship had more screen time in the original trilogy. I mean, I'm glad that it got to have its moment in Attack of the Clones, and then to some degree in The Mandalorian. But all in all, that Slave One, yes, I am calling it Slave One. I don't give a crap what Disney says. Slave One is definitely on top of my favorite ships in Star Wars, right after the Falcon. So I give that a straight up F.
Oh, it's a GOAT. It's absolutely a GOAT.
It's a GOAT. No.
So for two things, for a ship and a character who had such limited screen time to have an impact as it did both in film form and toy form, it's got to be a GOAT. It's got to be a GOAT. Absolutely. Agree 100%, James, 100%. All right. This is an interesting one.
Long ago in a galaxy far, far away, the Star Wars saga began, and Kenner continues the excitement. Rebel Transport holds up to 42 action figures, each sold separately, assembly required.
You'll never get me, Rebel Commander. You can't escape. Imperial TIE fighter pilot didn't find the lasers. Backpacks and gas masks are safe. That means he's hiding in the escape hatch. You knew where I was.
Rebel Transport comes with everything you see here. Action figures each sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
So
that's not bad.
No, this was the combination of a carry case vehicle. I think it's the only one they made like that. It is a very interesting concept in the fact that you saw how excited James got. It's got the twin cannons. It's got the cockpit. You could fit tons of figures. It's got all these extra backpacks and gas masks. And you only see the ship for like a couple of seconds in the film.
Right.
And you don't ever see the interior or anything. So they really went crazy with kind of.
They were very creative.
The only problem was it's a huge ship that has cannons on the back. So it really became, for me, a carrying case. Because unless you army build the hell out of your Star Wars figures, you're not going to put like 20 rebel soldiers in there. But I used it mostly as a carrying case, but it is cool looking and I love the accessories and all that. And there's playability, but is it as exciting as a Falcon or a Slave One?
Oh, no, of course.
So it's an interesting, Shane says he hid his money in his, it's an interesting concept. I think, wow, I don't know, James. I would say a C. Because
so here's what I'm going to say. It's an amazing design. It looks I love what you can do with the, how many troopers that you can store in there, or in this case you can store whatever you want in there. So yeah, I wouldn't put it in the top list, obviously not. But personally for me, just it definitely doesn't. It may not have that same level of impact, but it still makes a good, like display piece and stuff, and just something that you can use for your own personal use. But I would probably give it a C.
Yeah, I think just because.
It's not bad, but definitely not like.
No one is going to want to be the rebel transport pilot. Like if you were divvying out your toys and you had X-Wings and TIE fighters and Slave Ones, and then you had this is the kid who gets picked last in kickball. So
right.
But hey, it's a great carrier, great toy carrier.
Yeah, and it's better than the Imperial one.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
By far.
So
yeah. Next up.
Next.
From Kenner Star Wars, the Empire Strikes Back collection, it's Millennium Falcon that you put together. Batteries not included.
Nice landing, Han Solo. Uh-oh, come on, Chewbacca.
Notice the song is all
Action figures each sold separately.
Yes.
Got him on radar. I'll fire the laser cannon.
There's even a hidden storage hatch.
Oh my god.
Takeoff.
Yes.
Lightspeed. On to the Death
Millennium Falcon from Kenner Star Wars, the Empire Strikes Back collection. Action figures each sold separately.
I freaking missed that toy.
Dude, this was, oh my God. I got this for getting all A's on my report card, and my birthday happened simultaneously. We went to Red Lobster, then the Ocean County Mall, and I saw this. It was, I think, $40 or something like that. And I didn't think we could afford it. So I picked out a bunch of figures. I picked out, I can't remember what else I picked out. And I went up to the Toys R Us counter, and my dad, who was, well, we won't get into that, but one of the few good things my father did to me, he came up behind me and had the Falcon in his arms. Put it on the belt, and I was getting ready to take all the rest of the toys off, and he said, no, everything. And so I remember getting this home. I can't explain the feeling, James. I remember it clearly as an adult, but I can't articulate it. I remember the feeling of opening the box. I can still smell the box and putting this thing together, and how detailed it was, and how cool it was, and how big it was.
Yeah.
And it was one of those kid moments that you never forget.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Man. Go ahead, James.
Oh, I mean, I remember I definitely got that for my birthday, and it was like one of the best moments of my life at the time as a kid. It's like I loved that ship so much in the movies. Always imagining myself, controlling the blasters, blasting TIE fighters, going in light speed. But I wanted to do that with my own Falcon ship. And when I got that for my birthday, I can't remember if I was like maybe 5 or 6. It was amazing just to get to have that and then play with it with my friends, and then just set it up with display and stick Han, Luke, Leia, R2-3PO, Obi-Wan. It was amazing.
The amount of playability you could do with this, and then creating your own adventure with Slave One. It's just insane. It's insane. John Sorey just joined us. By the way, John Sori is a special effects, visual effects.
Yes.
Who actually worked on our film, You're It.
He also worked with me on the Punisher films.
Yep. And also on the Two Spiders film as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did. I almost forgot. Yeah.
John, if you still have your Star Wars figures from Christmas 78, you are a rich man.
Yeah.
Especially if they're mint. So congratulations. I actually gave all my figures away to a friend of mine, which to this day I still regret.
My mom sold my Falcon without my consent.
Dude, I had vinyl Cape Jawas. I had cloth. I mean, if you would have seen, James, if you would have been a kid when I was a kid and you would have seen my collection, you would have shit yourself.
Probably.
All right, I'm going to do a little bit of, yeah, that was an awful way to say that, but I'm going to do a little bit of
reorganizing.
Yeah, because we're starting a room.
Okay.
So
yeah, Falcon takes
a go. Yeah, that's a go. That's a
go. Anyone who says no, you are clearly smoking meth or something.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, absolute goat.
Absolutely.
So, all right, next up. Now this one, James, you can really push me on because it's not technically, it doesn't transport, and it should really be under the action figure category, but I finally just surrendered and made it part of the VO category, but it really should be part of the action figure category.
Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the Star Wars saga began, and Kenner continues the excitement.
What in the
Why and action figures each sold separately?
Han Solo! Hell, it's got Luke! Watch it, Tauntaun! Gotcha!
Tauntaun comes with an open belly rescue feature.
You'll be okay, Luke, as soon as I chase away that thing!
Tauntaun's Hot Wampa and other action figures each sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection.
Yeah, so
no.
You see what I'm saying, James? It's more of a figure.
That's more like an act.
But it's too late. We got in. Do you remember, James, I know we keep referencing Robot Chicken, but it's such a great. Do you remember the Robot Chicken one where it shows Luke pulling up to the gas station?
Yes.
One arm?
So, it was funny and scary at the same time.
I often wondered if Robot Chicken made that Wampa. That Wampa actually is made, not missing the arm, but the I guess the doll they used, they made a 12-inch Wampa that came with Luke in that 12-inch series I told you about with Power Rangers. They have that, and it's because remember how weird the Wampa's face looked?
Yes.
It's that figure. I swear to God, it's got to be that figure. But anyway, it is iconic. It is fun to play with. You get to knock your Tauntauns down. I would say a C, James.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C. It's I mean, it's okay, but not something I would want to add to my collection.
No, I think if you were a kid and got it for Christmas, you'd be thrilled. But you can only play with it if you're playing with the Wampa.
Right.
I mean, with the Tauntaun.
Right.
So it's really limited. I mean, I guess you could say, oh, well, there's somehow...
It wouldn't be something that I would play with over and over again.
A Wampa outbreak on Tatooine. So,
oh, God.
But, yeah, and we're going to jump, since that commercial already had it, we're going to jump to the Tauntaun that Shane mentioned. And that
with where you can...
The open belly.
Yeah.
And so... again, I think this is the A because it adds an extra play feature. I don't think we have to go too much more into it.
Yeah, I guess I'll give it an A.
Yeah, that's why I said the other one is more of a C. So,
all right.
There you go. So Shane, there's his belly opening.
Yep, there you go, Shane.
And what's the line, James?
And I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Now, the next vehicle up to bat, fucking A.
Yeah.
It's new AT-AT, the all-terrain armored transport from Kenner. Batteries not included, action figures each sold separately. Future makes AT-AT walk, its legs are big enough to crush obstacles. You can move AT-AT's head and pretend to scan for rebels. AT-AT has a cockpit for Imperial commander and AT-AT driver, and laser machine guns. When you push a button to fire the laser cannons, you activate battle lights and sound. There's even a troop compartment. New AT-AT from Kenner's Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection.
Other than the Falcon, I think this had the most extra shit it did.
Rick in A, yes.
But I think it did. This was, I got this for Christmas, and I didn't think I was going to get it. because even back then it was hard to find. It's just awesome. One, you could do the transport. You had the cockpit. You had the moving guns. It looked just like the movie. It was just so sweet.
Absolutely.
If you had the Hoth play sets, I mean, literally you could create Hoth in your front yard. God, if you had that fake snow you could spray, you could really have a ball. But yeah. Now, I had friends who had 2 or 3 of these. I don't know how they got 2 or 3. I had one, and I cherished that thing like it was made of gold. But holy crap, what an amazing figure. Again, it's terrestrial, it's land-based, but freaking iconic. Go ahead, James.
Yes. I wish I had that toy. But I did mention before that I had a friend that did, and we would play with, and we would add the Snowspeeder to it to try to, duplicate that part where they circle around the legs and make them fall down. But those things are freaking awesome.
Could you imagine if the USS flagged this and made this to scale?
Oh gosh.
Because I mean, obviously it wasn't to scale with the Snowspeeder, but could you imagine if it was to scale against the Snowspeeder, how big this thing would have been?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Insane.
They're freaking insanely big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a goat, James. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a goat. Why would you even ask me that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that definitely.
That is definitely a go. Shane says he had 3 of them, but he hated their clicking legs.
That one, yeah, I'll give you that. It's kind of like the little laser sound on the X-Wing and stuff. It's all they had at that time.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
That's how technology was.
The only thing about that is I was afraid I was going to break it because of that clicking sound, but you had 3, Shane. You were fucking rich.
Yeah.
You were like silver spoons rich. Talk about an obscure reference right there.
Yep. All right. What's next?
Next up.
Are we still on Empire, by the way?
We're still on Empire.
Okay.
The vehicle maintenance recharger. So this is a vehicle only because it actually can only be used with the vehicle. So I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I got this from a flea market. I had no idea it was even, I thought it was a G.I. Joe toy. Like an old school G.I. Joe toy, like the ones, the 12-inch. I only found out later down the line that it's actually a vehicle maintenance energizer, and mine was missing like the tubes or the wires, whatever. But I pretended it was a control center or a communication center. But this is actually, if we're going to look at when we get to the Scout Walker commercial, it actually connects. It's supposed to power up the Scout Walkers, the chicken walkers. So, I mean, can you play with it? Yeah. It's a gas station. It's a
boring.
Yeah. I'm going to give it.
I'm sorry. Absolute C. I would never want that.
Yeah, I think you'd be. I mean, I guess if it was a stocking stuffer and you got it with your chicken walker, you'd be like, all right. Whatever.
Oh gosh, if I was given that as a kid, I would cry.
Damn.
Yeah.
Then our next kind of not a vehicle, but kind of vehicle is the radar laser cam. I love this thing. I love this thing.
That is cool.
It did make sounds. It was strictly imagination powered.
Right.
But I mean, I had 4 or 5 of these because they were like $4.99, $5.99. You could, I mean, if you got done lawn mowing on a Saturday and you made $20, $30 because you were doing like $5 a lawn, yeah, you were buying a bunch of these, especially if you're doing your Hoth, you're using these to shoot at your at. I think it's I still think it's a C though.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's fascinating. Obviously not like major like what we have in A and S, but it's definitely, something. It definitely makes great display item. Yeah. But it's definitely better than that pitiful charting station.
Right.
So
now we're getting into the mini rigs, which was a line, again, I mentioned this earlier, that these weren't necessarily in the film, but Kenner was trying to release unique vehicles. I don't know if they were based on concept art or stuff that was scrapped from the movies, but they were designed to kind of provide more playability. So we're going to see a lot of these. And the first one is the MTV7. This was,
What the heck?
It's basically a snowtrooper ATV.
That looks horrible.
Again, I got this as a flea market toy and had no idea it was Star Wars. One, it looked cheap. I thought it was a knockoff toy or maybe something with one of the other, figure sets. It does roll. You put a figure in it, but it looks like a preschool version of a Star Wars toy. So, I mean, playability, I still think it gets an F because it's got playability, but
I don't know. I'm struggling with
it seems cheap compared to the other toys.
I don't know. I feel like that's too merciful. I would have definitely given it a Z.
The only reason I'm not giving it a Z, James, I don't disagree with you, is it did have, I mean, you could play with it. It was rolling and it, had that element.
Yeah, but if I was given those as a kid, I would still cry because they don't look.
You think that's bad? You ready for this one?
Oh gosh, here we go.
This is the PDT-8.
What the? Oh my gosh. Oh.
So this is supposed to be a flying vehicle with an open front. You can't sit your figures in there; they stand. It's a personal deployment transport. Again, I got a lot of this stuff. As I'm not lying, my dad brought it from a flea market, and he brought them. I think it was like 25 cents each, and he brought them to me and gave me the box. And I didn't know they were Star Wars. I didn't know they were Star Wars toys until I became an adult.
Yeah,
because most of these toys I didn't even keep in my collection, and they typically are missing pieces or whatever, or they were yellowed and stuff. So they were kind of like the backup toys.
Yeah,
we all had those backup toys. That you had like, you might have like some generic placers that you put with your Star Wars toys when you're playing, but when you're, at least this is just me, when you're displaying your Star Wars toys, they didn't go with that. They went in kind of like a shoebox.
I would not add those.
This is just fucking stupid.
A Z for me.
100%. I don't mind the terrestrial vehicle, but when you have an item you stand in, and
you're stupid. Absolutely stupid. And yeah, Shane, they're definitely weird. Shane's never seen these before. We are just now showing these to him for the first time in his life.
Yeah, it's definitely they're called the mini rigs.
Stupid. Yeah. Don't know whose idea it was.
Well, no, it was Kenner's.
Yeah. Not good on his part. Anyway.
Hold on a second, James.
Let's just move along.
I'm trying to find out. I guess I'm just gonna have to leave it like that. Okay. All right. So that's a Z. All right. Let me see if I have. Okay. Another one. This was in the film. This was the tripod laser cannon.
Oh yeah.
I love this. Awesome.
They're absolutely
again
cool.
Another item. $4, $5, $6. You bought a bunch of them.
Definitely something that I could display with snowtroopers.
I'm gonna say it's a C only because it goes with.
I'll give it a C.
Yeah. Unlike the mini rigs, which were.
Oh gosh, can we not talk about this anymore? All right, moving on.
No, we've got more, James.
That's what I mean. Let's move on to the next.
We got more mini rigs.
What?
Yep.
Oh gosh.
Got two.
What the heck is that?
Now, I will say, James, if you didn't have the figures in it, this would look like a cool Star Wars droid. I think putting the figures in it lessens it. It's got a captured rig on the back. Again, the pilot does not fit. I don't think the pilot fits all the way in it. I don't know why it has.
Clearly, I can tell.
Yeah. So I think if you use it as a droid, it would be cool. But I did have this as part of that box lot, and I thought it was a droid because it didn't have the canopy. So,
maybe. Well, I'll be merciful and give it an F.
I think an F is a safe bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's still, again, there is playability. It looks like a droid. You can use it as that. And again, it's not a real Star Wars vehicle, so you can have carte blanche on how you use it.
Yes.
So, yeah. I give Kenner props for trying to come up with new toys. I don't give them props for the toys they came up with. MLC 3.
Oh gosh. Those.
So again, would you, if you had got, just think the toy, not the box, would you have thought that was a Star Wars toy?
No.
No. Looks cheap, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to give it an F because it rolled. It had the guns. It had at least the figure could sit inside it. So it was like a mini tank, mobile laser cannon. So
I would have thought those. If you had shown me, if I was given those toys as a kid and I never saw the box, I would have assumed they're like tanks from the future or something like that.
Space 2099. Like a knockoff.
Yeah.
You would have thought it was a knockoff toy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like a knockoff toy.
So
we'll give it an S.
S. Yeah.
Last one.
Oh, good.
The INT-4. This was basically a decapitated chicken walker that flew.
That looks like the head. Yeah,
that's
the ATSTs. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a Z.
That's a total Z. Yeah. That's essentially just taking apart another cool ship and just now having people pilot its heads.
It looks stupid. It just looks stupid. It doesn't look even.
Absolutely stupid.
Again, I got this and didn't know it came from Star Wars.
By seeing the head, I would have definitely known it was from Star Wars.
I thought it was a knockoff. That's what my dad brought it to me. I thought, he found a bunch of like knockoff toys that were like that could fit Star Wars figures.
Yeah,
like rack toys or something from like CVS.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, thank God we're done with those.
Thank God. All right, what's
the last thing we have
for Empire?
Ooh. It's a battle damaged X-wing.
Oh.
The only difference is it's got stickers that make it look like it's battle damaged. That's
right.
It's the same X-wing. So, yeah, they just re-released the X-wing.
I would probably give that a C.
I'm going to give it an A because it's X-wing, but I'm not giving it a GOAT because we already got an X-wing GOAT.
Right.
It shouldn't even be on the list. It's basically a re-release, but it does have battle stickers, that image stickers. Right. So,
well, as a kid, I would not want something that's battle damaged.
No, it was just a way to get the X-wing back out there.
I suppose.
All right. Well, that was Empire.
All right. Now to Return of the Jedi.
Here we go. Our first to the Jedi toy.
The Force is back. The rebels will tire till they see the last of the Empire. And Kenner's there with Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
Technically, that's what you need to.
Y-Wing Fighter, you have to put it together. Batteries not included. Action figures each sold separately.
Activate laser cannon. Ready. Aim. On target. Now skywalker to base where coming in.
Y-Wing Fighter. Action figures sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
I know that people those don't get a lot of love.
I love the design.
Yeah, I love the Y-Wing. Yeah. I really love its design.
Yeah.
So I give that a straight up S.
Well, you've got the front gunners, you've got the Top Gun, which the Top Gun doesn't make sense. I'll give it that. It's got a bomb. It's a bomber too, right? It drops the
it's a bomber.
Yeah.
But I really love its design. I was always fascinated by it growing up. So
I don't think it's a GOAT, but I think it's definitely an A. What would you say?
Well, that I disagree. I think it's a GOAT, but we can agree to disagree.
That's just a hard one because it is it's an interstellar vehicle. It played a part in 2 different battles.
It did.
Jedi. Yeah, it's a GOAT. I'll give you the GOAT status on that, James.
Thank you.
Definitely keep the GOAT on that.
Yeah, Y-Wings need to get more love here.
Yep. And guys, you'll be able to see the full tier when we're done. I'll drop our camera so you can see the full tier.
Oh, Shane says that those little back rails on the Y-Wing fell off easy.
Oh yeah, they broke real easy. I was about to say that. The only thing that was problematic was those back. You could not play rough with that one. Like you could drop an X-Wing and it might survive. You drop a Y-Wing and it's done.
Yeah.
Now this is one of the cooler Imperial vehicles.
Return of the Jedi. The TIE interceptors are on a mission, but here comes the V-Wing fighter with its adjustable wings and gravity-controlled cockpit. It's a hit. But wait, will the B-Wing's warning buzzer bring help, or will the Empire be victorious? Only you can decide.
Honestly, I think the Interceptors are better than the original TIE Fighters.
I think the Interceptor is the best TIE fighter out there.
Well, Darth Vader's still takes.
I know. I still think I think it's better. I think it's better than Darth Vader's.
What?
I mean, I get where you're coming from, but the look of it is just so badass.
It is absolutely.
It's absolutely badass. I think it's a coat.
Yeah, I say go too. Yeah. But yeah, the design is freaking awesome.
It's amazing. It really is cool. It really is.
Not to mention, it actually looks menacing than an actual, like, it's like I'm not hating the original TIE Fighter. I still love it, but the Interceptors make them look more menacing.
No, I think it's the coolest TIE fighter. I really do. All right. Next up.
Now, quick escape on a speeder bike. You won't get away with this, Han Solo.
New speeder bike with automatic speed flaps. Action figures each sold separately.
Automatic speed flap. You lift the thing up.
That chance. Bike's got your base. I'm in hot pursuit. Engage.
Yeah, it's all
Now, watch this. Open speed flaps in rear. I'm gonna crash. Biker Scout, you're not all your cracks have to be.
New speeder bike. Action figures sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
Okay, so James, let me tell you my only issue with this very iconic vehicle, because the speeder bike scene was one of the best scenes in Jedi.
It was, yes.
They come, once you blow them apart 2 or 3 times, they don't go back together well.
Right.
The mechanisms wear out very quickly. Also, you always lost the damn handles. They either break off or they get lost. But I will tell you, the figures set on it nicely.
Right.
And it was good. If you didn't wear out the mechanism, it was a great display piece.
Oh yeah.
I do remember I had 2 or 3 of these, and all of them had the same problem, where they were, once they broke apart a certain amount of times, they were very difficult to put back together.
Gotcha. Well, I would probably just go with an A here for that one.
You really think it's an A?
Yes, because it's still a great ship.
I'm going to give you that one. I think it's a C, but I'm going to give you that one because it is very iconic. And I'm telling you, you were playing with this thing because that scene was so important in the film. You were doing speeder bike scenes. You were doing those. You were playing that kind of them, and you were doing. And even if you didn't have a speeder bike trooper, you had a stormtrooper drive one of these things. So, but yeah, it was such a cool scene too, and so advanced for its time.
Yes,
but it really is.
Now,
but
I personally, none of my friends and I had those ships. But we definitely would have, I have no doubt that we would have done the same thing before. We would, pretend that we're speeding through the woods or something, or things like that. But I definitely wish I had that ship as a kid.
Yeah, it's a dumb, the toy is not dumb. It's a dumb vehicle to have in a heavily wooded area.
Yeah.
Like, this is a vehicle you would have on a flat plane. You would not have this where you're traveling at the speed of sound in a forest. So
yeah,
and disbelieve a lot.
You're paying attention to where you're going.
Yeah, you got to really, of all the vehicles in the Star Wars universe, the speeder bike is the most ludicrous. It really is, especially being in. I could see it on Tatooine.
Oh yeah,
or even on the Hoth planet.
Right.
I would not see that on a planet that had more obstacles to run into than not. So no, I just gotta call it.
I'll grant you that it definitely was ludicrous to some degree, but I still thought they were cool.
Now here you're gonna see the Energizer used with this toy.
Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the Star Wars saga began, and Kenner continues the excitement. Scoutwalker, vehicle maintenance Energizer, and action figure each sold separately.
Tough battle, Commander. Recharge the overdrive unit. Recharging, sir. Check length for battle damage. Looks bad. But this'll fix it. Lasers at full power, sir. Let's go! Good hunting, sir.
Scout Walker Vehicle Maintenance Energizer and action figure each sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection.
Well, anyways.
Now at least the Energizer makes sense. But didn't it look, even the toy in the commercial with the suction cups, it looks stupid.
Yeah.
It looks like one of those, what do they call it? The defibrillators? You know, the Scout Walkers now clear, you know. I mean, I like the fact that you could do the puppet action with the feet.
Yes, that is so
fit one figure, which was a little disappointing, but it played a pivotal point in the film, especially when Chewbacca carjacked it.
Yes, that was a good one.
Yep.
Granted, it's definitely not an OG in my opinion.
No,
like it pales in comparison to the
I will tell you, the leg mechanism wore out very quickly.
Right. So I don't know. I guess to some degree, even though I still think it's a great toy, I would probably give it an A.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an A, James, only because of the recognition.
Just because it's iconic.
But as far as durability, it is not a durable toy. The legs work out, but it's definitely...
But it's still a great...
It would not fall under a C category.
No, I would not put it in.
You got the Tauntaun in the C category. The Scout Walker is not going to fall in that same category.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Shane, the Chicken Walkers, I used them a lot when I did my Hoth battles. I didn't use them a lot with my Endor battles because I will tell you, by the time Jedi came out, I was 14 and I was collecting more than playing. So I would set up, my dad had built these elaborate shelves in my room. And when I displayed my figures, I would display them in battle scenes. So when I used my Scout Walker, it was more in the Hoth display than it would be in the Endor display. Wow, I'm really showing my geekiness, aren't I?
Yeah.
All right, next up, we saw this was the B-Wing. We saw it with the TIE Interceptor. I never had this one, James. This is the one I did not have.
The B?
Yeah, I never had it.
I never had. In fact, you know what? The B-Wings were so, like, they didn't really do much in Return of the Jedi.
No, and not to mention that, it's just, so you know how when you look at something that's like when they have characters, CGI characters that look kind of too human, they enter that uncanny valley.
Yeah.
This is an uncanny valley for me as far as a ship. Like, I don't like the design.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything for me. It's not, I'm sure playability's there. I'm sure it's a fun toy to play with, but
yeah, but I
wouldn't want it. I wouldn't go into a store and say, I want that ship.
Neither would I.
Yeah.
I would just give it an S.
I'm going to give it a C. I'm not going to give it an F. I don't think it deserves an F, but it's definitely not something I would go into a store and say, I want that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I'm going to give it a C. Yeah, Shane's right. The box is worth more than the actual toy, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of the few. Did you notice it's one of the few that actually had the animated? It was a drawing, not an actual photo of the toy.
I did notice that, yeah.
And then you got two of them. See that? Look. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. And the cockpit does rotate, by the way, guys. The cockpit does rotate.
Oh, yeah, it is meant to rotate.
All right. Okay, next up.
The Force is back. The rebels won't tire till they see the last of the Empire. And Kenner's there with Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
You're in my sight, Luke Skywalker. Not for long, Darth Vader.
It's X-Wing fighter and Imperial TIE fighter. Action figures each sold separately. Batteries not included.
Time for the old surprise swoop.
The X-Wing battle tank. The space
Not
battle
bad for a beginner, but I'll be back.
X-Wing fighter, Imperial TIE fighter, and action figures each sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
So yeah, they changed the color, which I did like. I do like the blue. They added battle damage stickers. What pisses me off is that's all they did. So I'm not giving it any more than an A.
Yeah, same here.
It's just like the battle damage X-Wing. And I don't think it's supposed to be Darth Vader's. They have Darth Vader flying it. It's an Imperial. And I don't remember a blue TIE fighter in the film.
Well, it's they're kind of like a bluish grayish color. But I think that one was painted a little more blue.
No, I like the color. I love the color, but it basically is a recolored TIE fighter with battle damage stickers. It's not, there's nothing new to it. So I give it an A, but if this was the original TIE fighter and it wasn't white, but the problem was the ones in the film looked white or gray. They didn't look blue.
Yeah.
So,
well, all right.
Well, interesting. Okay, now we're getting back into the last bit of the. Let me just first. This is the desert skiff. I didn't have this one either. I didn't even know they made this. The desert sail skiff. This was a small sail skiff off of Jabba's barge.
Though I don't like this.
They look cheap.
They look extremely cheap.
Yeah, it looks like they just wanted to. They didn't have the time or the money to make the actual skiffs or the act, because this is not what the skiffs look like. The actual sail barge, which eventually I think HasLab made.
So I definitely would give those a Z.
I'm going to give it an F only because it does have playability, and it was the only Jabba vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the only Jabba vehicle, so I'll give it an F, which is being merciful. I don't deny that. But all right, now we're going to get to the last of the mini rigs.
Oh boy.
We actually have a commercial pallet.
You are unwise to lower your defenses. There is no way of knowing when the dark side may rise up again. During the hours of darkness, the Empire could be refueling for the attack. Will the armored Sentinel transport vehicle be ready to retaliate before it's too late? Will the rebel force be strong enough to deal with the Imperial stormtroopers? Only you can decide.
I'm sorry, for a moment, it was Transformers.
So this was there's two of them, the AST-5. I guess this was supposed to be part of Jabba's vehicles. It looks like those Mask vehicles. Remember Mask, the cars that turn into something else?
Mask, where illusion is the ultimate weapon.
Convert switchblade to jet mode. Surprise, Matt Tracker. It's mayhem. Battle stations. Protect your decoder, Bruce. I'm going up. Stacks ready to fire.
Mask, Switchblade, Thunderhawk, and Rhino.
Fire!
Each sold separately with action figure.
Cover me, Matt. 10-4. Sato's getting away. But you're not, Mayhem.
Mask, Switchblade, Thunderhawk, and Rhino. Each sold separately. New from Kenner.
No.
Those are just absolute garbage.
That's a F. That's a Z.
Z, please.
100%.
I can't. My mercy can only last for so long, but not with that.
It's just, it looks like a cheap piece of shit.
Yes.
And it does not deserve the Star Wars name on those.
No, it doesn't.
The last one is the ISP-6.
Oh my gosh.
It looks like, you know how play school makes the vehicles that fit the stubby figures. That's what this looks like.
But that looks like something that looks like the head of a Power Rangers.
No, it's supposed to be a mini shuttle.
I know, but just from what I'm seeing, for my first time looking at it, it looks like the head of a Power Rangers.
It looks like a play school version of a Star Wars toy. And it's
either way.
A Z. It's getting a Z, James.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
I mean, normally I would argue, James, that it's got some playability because it is a little an aircraft or a spacecraft, but it looks so fucking stupid. I can't even do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Just
it looks like a joke. It looks like a Saturday Night Live skit.
It is an absolute joke.
Yeah, that's terrible. Is that for the mini rigs? Yeah, thank God. Okay.
Good.
Okay. Again, this is technically a figure, but I'm going to count it as a vehicle because I already have. You could argue with me on it if you want, but we're going to count it.
Return of the Jedi. The Rancor monster has trapped Luke Skywalker. Can he escape the Rancor's claws as the Rancor Keeper and Gamorrean Guard look on? Luke's only chance is a stake in the monster's jaw. Will he succeed or fall victim? Only you can decide with Star Wars toys.
I am telling you right now, James.
Wow.
When I got this thing...
I would normally say, no, this is not even... But I have always loved a Rancor.
Yeah.
And the scene where Luke kills it is epic.
I remember getting this, and I did the scene. I literally had the scene with him in the hand, in the hand,
Right.
and he's got the thing in his mouth. I think I found like some kind of stick from outside, and then the other hand, I had the Gamorrean guard just like that. That's the way it was displayed.
Right.
I loved this. I loved it. I loved it.
It is awesome.
I was not playing with these. I was displaying them, but I love this figure. I absolutely love it. I think I can't give it a GOAT, but I think it's definitely an A.
But an A. It definitely deserves an A.
One of the few creature vehicles or creatures that we're going to put an A on.
Yes.
So
that definitely that trumps a Tauntaun, a Dewback, and a Wampa.
Yeah, if I was still playing with these at that time, I probably would have had a battle royale with the Wampa, the Tauntauns, and the Dewback fighting the.
Oh man,
it'd be like a kaiju. Let them fight. All right, now here's where they got it right. Here's where they got it right.
Oh boy.
The galaxy is the Rebels return. You can relive it all with Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
Rebel attack squad ahead.
New Imperial stuff. You can put it together. Batteries not included.
Yes.
The figures each sold separately.
After it. Accelerator Vader. Death Star signaling. Wing up. Better land. Landing you down. Ramp engage. This battle station better be ready.
Oh yeah, it comes to the unseen.
Yep, my Emperor.
New Imperial shuttle. Action figures sold separately. From Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
Yes.
This thing was beautiful.
It is definitely one of another great.
I got this. This was the last Star Wars toy I got as a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
That's what I got. And
a friend of mine did have that ship, but we didn't really play
I wasn't expecting it. And I got it. And even though at that time my parents knew I wasn't playing with them as much, if any, dude, this thing was, I hung this from my ceiling. It was just awesome.
Oh, I definitely would have too. I mean, I never had that ship myself, but a friend of mine had it, but we didn't really play with it much.
I hated the fact that I had gotten out of playing with them because this would have been, I was like, crap. Because when you hit about 14, 15, it's no longer, if you're playing with toys, it's odd. You know, collecting is still somewhat odd.
Oh,
but playing, well, back then it wasn't mainstream. You remember that?
That's true. You're right.
If kids found out you were playing with action figures at 14, 15, you were getting throttled. I didn't play with them because I was doing, that was when I started writing and creating stories and stuff on my own. But I loved action figures, so I was still buying them and displaying them. And this hung from my ceiling. And I do remember thinking, man, I wish this come out when I was still 9, 10, 11, because this thing battling the Millennium Falcon would have been a ball, but it's absolutely gorgeous.
So you were 14 back in 83?
This was 85, I think it came out.
Oh, that was 85. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think it came out in 85, 84, 85.
Well, the movie came out in 83, but the toys came out in 85?
They came out all the way up to 85.
Oh, okay. Got
so even if this would have came out in 83, I do remember I was not playing with the toys anymore. I was collecting. I had become a nerd.
Okay.
And again, I ended up giving all of my toys to, and it was a good deed. I had a friend who was a good friend of mine. Their family was not well off. We weren't that well off, but they lived on a farm. The father was a pastor, very, very good man, a very good kid. And I gave him all my toys to play with. And he played with them. But I think of it now, and all of my toys, they were out of box, they were mint. Except for the flea market stuff. So I could have probably retired.
But you still did the right thing. You did a very.
Oh no, I don't regret it for a minute, but I regret the Jawas. I wish I would have kept the damn Jawas.
Oh gosh, I would have given away the Jawas.
Well, no, because what the Jawas are worth now.
Disgusting creatures.
So, all
right,
you think it's a GOAT?
Oh yeah, heck yeah, it's a GOAT.
Okay, I gotta make some space. Hold on.
Yeah.
We got a lot of goats.
You do.
We got a lot of goats. You guys are going to see?
I'm not complaining.
We got a lot of goats.
If only my parents would have understood how important collecting was back in the day before they sold
Nobody. Do you remember there was an Amazing Stories episode? I think Mark Hamill was in it.
A magical creature will pursue him for the next half-century and will one day save his life. Mark Hamill in Amazing Stories next.
Where he's told to collect his toys, and he becomes old and destitute, and all he has is a wagon of toys behind him. And eventually a guy walks up and goes, "Oh my God, you have this? I've been looking for this." And he ends up selling all his toys and becoming wealthy because of it. I remember that show because I'm like, yep, that's pretty much what ended up happening for those that were smart enough to keep their toys.
Yeah.
But you were a kid. I mean,
yeah, but they shouldn't have sold my toys without.
Oh, well, that I don't disagree with. But the thing is, when you're a kid, again, now there's a collector culture. But when you're a kid, there's not, no one thought, oh, keep one in the box and play with one. You just wanted to play with your toys. We didn't care about collecting. We cared about reenacting Star Wars scenes. That's what we cared about.
True. Well, I mean, yeah, true.
So, all right, here we go. Last two.
Gee, guys, we're going back to the battle on planet Endor. By the scout report, Ewoks were great.
Also, I feel like Sean.
Torture base. Glider tech.
What?
Our and friends are great allies, Leia.
Accessories and action figures all sold separately.
Then the
Imagine setting up that
the
scene.
bunkers get bad.
Just
That's
kidding.
for the force shield. We did it. The Empire's finished this time.
Speeder bike, Ewok combat glider, assault catapult, and action figures sold separately. Only from Kenner Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
2 Ewok toys. They had the catapult.
Right.
This was a Kmart exclusive. I believe it was a Kmart exclusive.
Okay.
And they actually repurposed, I think, for the Robin Hood toy line that Kenner made. Again, if you notice, it's an anime. It's not, I don't think it doesn't look like a picture of the toy. It looks like almost a drawing. I may be wrong. But
sure.
I mean, none of us believed that catapults could take down scout walkers in the movie. I don't know what the hell you do with this as a play. Plus the fact you probably either broke it or lost the rock. So I'm going to say a Z, unless you disagree, James.
I was more like going to just put it, just because, how cool they were in the movie, I would have given it a C, but.
All right, I'll give it an F. How about that? I'll compromise.
That's fine.
Okay. Because I don't think it's.
I mean, they are playable.
No, it's got playability, but I don't think a kid would play with it long.
No, I wouldn't play with it long. I would keep it on display.
The last one is the Ewok combat glider.
Definitely just something I would just
think they repurposed this one for either Robin Hood or Hook. But basically, it's a glider.
Yeah.
With 2 rocks.
Right. Well, remember, because that in the movie.
But I mean, do you think a kid would play with this long?
No. So I would give it an F.
Yeah, I think it goes in the F category.
For me, I would just hang it from my ceiling and not really.
Yeah, that's all. That's maybe you might do that, but I don't think anybody walked into a store and said, "Mommy, get me the Ewok," or "Dad, get me the Ewok combat."
But I'm saying if I was given it for Christmas, I would just hang it from my ceiling.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do something real quick. So
all right.
You can see the. See there is the completed ranking. So let's review real quick, James. We got the in the S category, we've got the radio controlled Jawa Sandcrawler. We both agreed on that. The X-Wing, the original X-Wing fighter, the TIE fighter, Darth Vader's TIE fighter, the Snowspeeder, James did think it was an A. I gave it a goat. Slave One, Millennium Falcon, at Y-Wing fighter, which I thought was an A, but James gave an S. The TIE Interceptor, and I don't know why you guys can't see the Imperial shuttle, but the Imperial shuttle's there as well. So, under the A category, we have the manual-powered land speeder, the Tauntaun with the stomach that you could put Luke in. What's the line, James? The re-release of the X-Wing fighter with battle damage stickers, the speeder bike, which doesn't make any logistical sense on a forest planet, the Scout Walker, the Imperial TIE fighter, which, like the battle damage X-Wing fighter, was just a repaint and a re-sticker, and then the Rancor monster, which James and I both agree is badass. And again, it falls under, it's more of an action figure than a vehicle because you can't ride on it, transport it. It's not a transport vehicle. Yeah. It's Thanksgiving. C, we've got the sonic control land speeder. It's just a radio control. Only benefit of that one, I think, is the cool radio control, which was the R2. We've got the dewback. James probably thought that should get a lower score. I do like the dewback. The first Tauntaun, which I do think belongs in the C category because I do think the other one is much more fun to play with. The Rebel Transport, which is more or less a carrying case, but a very cool carrying case nonetheless. The Hoth Wampa, again, like the Rancor, it's really a figure, but it still was cool. Yeah, it's still cool. The radar laser cannon and the tripod laser cannon, they're not vehicles, but they are very cool accessories. They are very affordable, so you can army build with them. And the B-Wing fighter, James and I both were like, So in the F category, the Imperial troop transport doesn't make any sense. Wasn't in the film. Even if it was, it still didn't make sense. We eventually put in the Mandalorian just because for nostalgia bait. Darth Vader's Star Destroyer, which is just a mess. It's a mess of a toy. Mess of a toy. The MTV-4, which is basically the ATV for snowtroopers. What is it called? Hold on a second. I got that stupid thing blocking it. The Cap-2, which basically looks like a droid. The MLC-3, which is a very cheap-looking mini tank. The Desert Sail Skip, which was the only vehicle we got at that time from the Jabba's entourage. And then the Ewok Catapult and the Ewok Glider, which I don't think any child would say, I want that. Probably it was in the discount bin. Z, the Twin Pod Racer, which I still don't understand why they made. I mean, I understand the Star Destroyer, even though it was made poorly. I don't understand the Twin Pod Cloud Car. The vehicle maintenance recharger, or whatever it is, dumb. The PDT-8, dumb. The INT-4, dumb. The AST-5, dumb. And the ISB-6, dumb. They all look like cheap knockoff vehicles more than actual Star Wars vehicles. So there you go. And that is our tiers for Thanksgiving and for episode 13 and for our Star Wars Kenner Vehicles 1978 to 1985. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great rest of the week. And I wish you and your family and your friends all the best. Thank you, James. Appreciate you being here, buddy. My
Thank
brother
you.
from another mother. Anyway, guys, we're going to play you out, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, everybody. Bye.
From comic books to TV shows and all things loved by nerds, we'll share just how we